So, yeah, all this happened prior to Islam. I repeat, prior to Islam.
The Babylonian civilization, which was located in modern-day southern Iraq.
The women were degraded and were denied all rights under the Babylonian law. If a man murdered a woman, instead of him being punished, his wife was put to death. What the hell, man? That is absolutely disgusting. So there's a verse from the Koran which forbids the murder of anyone, let alone a woman.
Anyone who murders any person who had not committed murder or horrendous crimes, it shall be as if he murdered all the people. Greek civilization.
Greek civilization is considered the most glorious of all ancient civilizations. Under this very glorious system, women were deprived of all rights and were looked down upon. In Greek mythology, an imaginary woman called Pandora is the root cause of misfortune of human beings. Though chastity of women was precious, the women were held in high esteem. The Greeks were later overwhelmed by the ego and sexual perversions. Prostitution became a regular practice amongst all classes of Greek society. So, who do you think is oppressed? A prostitute or a woman who is considered subhuman and inferior to men? Or a chaste, respectable Muslim woman?
Roman civilization.
When Roman civilization was at the zenith of its glory, a man even had the right to take the life of his wife. Prostitution and nudity were common against the Romans. Again, ew. Islam strictly prohibits these acts.
Egyptian civilization.
The Egyptians considered women evil and as a sign of the devil. Well, I'm sure they don't think that way anymore, considering Egypt is predominantly Muslim.
Pre-Islamic Arabia.
Before Islam spread in Arabia, the Arabs looked down upon women, and very often when a female child was born, she was buried alive. Now that you've seen what life was like prior to Islam, let's talk about what life is like now post-Islam. 1400 years ago, Islam gave women rights. Islam uplifted the status of women. Islam gave women freedom of speech. Women are now respected. The hijab or niqab is not to oppress us. Wearing hijab, we can be respected. We're not seen as a piece of meat. Hijab grants us with protection, freedom, liberation, modesty, respect. Muslim women are not oppressed. We are not oppressed. No way in this world are we oppressed by Islam. And in the countries that are predominantly Muslim and women are oppressed, it's culture, not Islam, so don't you dare blame Islam. It is absolutely not Islam. And the only way in which Muslim women are oppressed in the West is if we are not granted the freedom to wear our hijabs. If we are not granted the freedom to cover ourselves for modesty, for protection, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let us be. Let us be who we are, what we want to be. It's nothing to do with you. We can make our own choices. We don't need you to hold our hand and walk us through it. We don't want to be looked at as a piece of meat like the models on Western magazines. So just leave us be already. Get lost. We honestly don't need your concern. If Islam oppressed women, why is it the fastest growing religion in the world, huh? How can you contradict that statement? Why would I, an Australian woman brought up with Christian values, convert to Islam if I thought it oppressed me? And the same goes for other converts to Islam. Is it because we're dumb, ignorant, naive? Let me think about that. No. Instead of being so gullible as to agree with the Western media, which by the way is oppressing Muslims as a whole, we as Muslims think outside the box. We think for ourselves. We do our own research in order to find out the truth instead of let the media spoon feed us like a bunch of little babies. So please, it is not Islam that is